Now, in the previous lecture, we get all the values of the register page and print that in the console. In this lecture, I'm going to get all the values from the login form and print that in the console. So let me first open my login form. I'm going to specify here route login. This will just open my login form, and I'm going to get this email and the password and display that inside this console. So let me first close this register and this register.jsx file and open my login.js. As you know, inside this file, I have a simple login form. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use here state and store the values of these input text boxes inside a variable and print that in the console. So I'm going to just import the hook use state, and I'm going to use this to create a new state variable. So just down here, I'm going to say constant. In the array, I'm going to pass email and set email is equal to, then I'm going to specify here use state and pass default value to this email variable, which is empty string. Just after that, I'm going to specify here constant, pass here an array and pass password. Then to specify value to this variable, I'm going to call here a function set password is equal to, then I'm going to specify here use state and pass here double quote. Just after that, let me create the handler function. Just down here, I'm going to create a command and say handle submit handler function. So here I'm going to simply create an arrow function. So I'm going to start with the constant keyword, specify the handle submit name to this function, and then I'm going to specify here event parameter and simply pass arrow. Inside it, I'm going to first remove the default behavior of the button. So to do that, I'm going to specify here event dot prevent default. As you know, when you click on the form button, it will reload your browser. To remove that effect, I'm going to use this statement. Just out of that, I'm going to create here a constant variable user credential is equal to, and inside that I'm going to print my email and my password, and then simply I'm going to print that in the console. So I'm going to say here console.log and specify here user credential. Now just out of that, I'm going to pass this variable to this login form. So here I'm going to create a property called login state is equal to, in the curly braces, I'm going to specify this handler function and these variables. Let me create an object and specify all these variables inside that. Let me show you another way to do the same thing. Instead of creating a variable, you can just simply pass here curly braces like this and pass your values. So I can simply specify here handle submit, comma, then I can specify here set email and set password. That's it. Now I can access all these values in my login form with this login state property. I don't need to create any object to pass these values. I can simply create the inline object inside this component. That's upon you. You can use any technique to pass values to the component. I'm going to save this file and open my login form.jsx, and here I'm going to access all these variables. So as you all know, to access the property of the component, you need to pass props parameter to the functional component. So here I'm going to just simply say let, in the curly braces, I'm going to destructure all my variables. So I'm going to simply specify here first equal to sign and then specify here props dot, and then I'm going to specify this property login state inside my login form.jsx file. So from this property, I'm going to destructure handle submit, set event and set password variable. So I'm going to specify that here, just like this, as simple as that. Just out of that, as you know, I'm going to get the email value from this input text box. So here I'm going to create an event called onChange is equal to, and then I'm going to pass here curly braces. Inside that, I'm going to specify the handler function, and I'm going to simply say e, the event parameter, and pass my handler function here. Inside this handler function, I'm going to simply say set email and pass parentheses. I'm going to call this function inside this handler function. So when you type anything inside this email text box, this onChange is going to execute this handler function and specify a value to this set email. This set email is going to specify value to this variable, to this state variable. Right now you can notice we have the empty string default value to this email variable. Using this onChange, I'm going to change that value and specify this parameter value. So inside this parameter, I'm going to specify here e.target dot value. Now this statement is going to get the text box value and specify that to this set email hook. Now let me do the same for the password. I'm going to copy this and specify the same event right down here. But instead of set email, don't forget to change it to set password, because this time I'm going to specify the value to the password variable. Just like that. As you can see here, I have the event handle submit. Instead of specifying this event to this button, I'm going to create here on submit event to this form. So here I'm going to say on submit is equal to, in the curly braces, I'm going to simply say handle submit. I'm going to specify this handler function to this on submit. That's easy, right? Save this file, save this login file as well. And now let me back to my project and specify here value. Here I'm going to specify admin@gmail.com and specify password admin123. When I click on the login button, as you can see, this will print both these values inside my console. That's super easy, right? Now I hope you understand how to get values from the input text boxes in the React application. Now what I want, when I click on the login button, I want to open the login form. When I click on the register button, I want to open the register form. Right now, when I click on it, nothing will happen because I don't have any functionality to both these buttons. So in the next lecture, I'm going to add functionality to both these buttons and add some style to it. And I'm going to show you how you can display the active button on the website.